Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Will. Today on the lathe I have a nice little piece of elm. I'll just change camera here and we'll take a look at it. So the piece is 10.5 inches, but as you can see I put a couple of pencil lines on it. I'm not going to get 10, I'll get about 9.75 at best. Again, I get a turn because it has moved quite a ways. As you can see, it warped every way possible. Elongated on the grain, which most woods will do as they dry. It has a beautiful knot in it here, so this will add a nice bit of character to the bowl. Yeah, so it was turned, I rough turned this, or wet turned this in the 28th of the 3rd, 23, so well over 2 years ago. But it's nice and dry now, so hopefully it's done any moving it's going to do. There's a nice wide rim on this bowl, so it's about two inches. So I left it wide. I've done a couple of these, so I left them wide for a reason. So I want to put a little bit of inlay in this. So I've been messing around doing a couple of little bits of inlay. Here's one I done from a plain piece of sycamore. So I just put a blue pearlescent resin in that, so I thought it looked quite nice. So I'm going to do a similar one to this. So I'm going to show you another one here I've done with walnut. So I hope the camera is picking it up. So this is copper wire. I just done it like a barley twist, and I put in what did I put in? Some oyster shell just to fill it in, and then I just filled it with CA glue, with a tin CA glue, and sanded it back. So I think that turned out quite nice, and a lovely bit of walnut, nice bit of ripple in it. So yeah, so that was these two. So I'll put these to one side, and we can make a start on this. So I'll just pop this guy onto the chuck. I already had it on the chuck because as you see, I've done a little bit of marking out on it. Let's give that a little pinch up. So I've just marked the center, and I've marked here. I'm just going to put a recess in, a temporary recess in here, and I flip it around just so as I can turn the underside of the ball first. But I might just throw this up first as well. Just it'll help balance the piece. So I've just got over 800 RPM. And I'm going to start off with my usual 5/8 inch ball gouge. So I'm just going to throw up this rim first. And I go a little bit more. And we're down to decent wood all the way around. I did fill, there was a little cavity opened up here where this knot was. I did fill it with some coffee grinds and CA glue. So hopefully that stays in. So now back to forming my recess. So just grab my parting tool. And my skew now just to form my little dovetail. So now as you can see, I put in the 86mm recess, so I'll have to change chuck. And just expand the jaws. Just give a little pinch. That should be loads. I have a good 3/4 of an inch of material in the bottom of the bowl, so now first job. Throw up my tenon, get that to the correct shape and size. And the foot, so everything has elongated with the grain, so it's all gone egg shaped. So I'd like to leave the foot if I can, but if not, it'll go. So now just switching back to the smaller ball gouge. This is a 3/8 inch. So now back up to 800 RPM. I'll just mark for my tenon. Let's see what that's looking. So as you can see the line there, I made the tenon a little bit bigger. I always do when I'm roughing out the bowls for reshaping. So now that's my tenon shaped, and I have my little foot, just the outline of it, so I can work with that. So now I can start to shape the underside of the bowl. So there's not a lot of material come off the underneath. So I'm missing a section here. You can see the different colour. So down to good wood with just the exception of one little patch here. So I'll have to take another pass. And that has done the job. So that's that piece out. All nicely trued up. So just down here I can see I have a couple of tiny little tool marks. So they need to go. So I'm just going to grab my little 1-inch shear scraper. I'm just seeking to tidy that up a little bit. So now that's the underside of the bowl now ready for sanding. As you've seen, I just used the little shear scraper, just cleaned it up really nice. So the knot is held. You can see where I filled it. Change camera might help. Yeah, you can see where I just filled it with some coffee grinds and some CA glue. So that has worked just nice. So yeah, I'm going to get it sanded and I'll take you back when we're ready to put a finish on it. Now that's the sanding all done. I sanded up to my usual 400 grit and just gave it a light rub with the little yellow Scotch-Brite pad. So now for a little bit of sanding sealer. Now that's a nice coat of sanding sealer. It's a lovely bit of colour in it as well. Nice bit of green. We might go the whole way with this one. We'll give it the Yorkshire grit as well. So Yorkshire grit, probably most of you know, is just an abrasive paste. So now that's all the gritting finished. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just clean that off with a little bit of denatured alcohol. Or as it's called here in Ireland, it's methylated spirit. So you can get a glimpse of all that beautiful grain. I'm going to wait till I do the inside because I'm going to have more sanding and stuff to do on the rim and on the inside, so I'm not sure. I might just apply a wax finish on the outside. So now that's off, cleaned off any bit of wax that might have been left on from the gritting. So now I'm going to flip it around and put it into the chuck, and we can make a start on the inside. See what's that like. So I could probably take it down another tiny bit in the bottom. I'll just check the wall thickness. So I have a bit less than a ½ inch. I think maybe I'll take another cut. Although I have left the top here, it is, what is it? It's 1.5 inches, so it's quite substantial in the rim, so maybe I'll leave it. Yeah, I think I'll leave it because I don't want it too thin in the bottom. Plus I've still to tidy up the base as well, so I'll probably take a little bit off. So now I need to just work on this edge here. So I need it as flat as I can get it. So I can see a little bit of daylight here, so the rim is actually sloped out the way a tiny bit. So I'll have to rectify that. And where this knot is, it's after tearing out quite badly. I have a little inclusion there, so I might actually have to put a bit of CA in that before. So now I get back to truing up this rim. I'm just going to go back to my little 1-inch shear scraper. Not so bad. So I need to take another little bit. So I'm just going to switch over to the skew because I know the edge of the skew is nice and straight, whereas the shear scraper is slightly rounded. So I can still see a tiny little bit of daylight at this end, so I need to take a little bit more on the inside. And that has done the job. So it's perfectly level now. So I'm just going to sand this rim with the first groove, so which is 120, and then I'll cut my groove. But I will be resanding it, so there's no point me sanding it all the way up to 400 yet. So guys, I gave the rim a quick sand. I only went to 120. I used 120 grit because I will be cutting my groove in this, and it will be sanded after. So, but what I haven't done yet is I haven't sanded the inside. So I'm going to sand the inside, and I'll take you back then, and we can cut the groove for the resin. So now that's the piece all sanded. On the inside I sanded up to my usual 400 grit. So now to mark out for this the groove for the inlay. So I have 1.5 inches. What's that in millimeters? It's about 36, 37 millimeters. Something like that. See if that looks pretty even. Yeah, I think I could live with that. So now I should just grab a parting tool. I'm going to start off with this tin. I think it's a 2mm parting tool, give or take. Just bring the speed up a bit. So I've just got 900 RPM. Just stop and check, make sure I'm even. So I've got 8mm there, and I have 8mm there, so happy with that. So now I'll switch to a slightly wider parting tool, this is a little 1/4 inch. Just bring the tool rest in a bit closer. So far so good. So I'm down about only about 1.5 millimeters, maybe 2 millimeters. So I need to go a little bit more. So I've gone down 4 millimeters in total. So I think that's enough. Well, I hope it is anyway. And here where the knot has, it chipped out a tiny little bit, but nothing I can do. when the resin goes in, it'll fill that. So now, next stage is mix a bit of resin. So now guys, I have the piece ready for the resin inlay. I sanded the inside up to my usual 400 grit, but I didn't apply any sealer or anything yet because, as I said, I'm going to have to sand this rim again, so I'll do all that at that stage. And I did Yorkshire grit, or I did sand and seal in Yorkshire grit the underside. So on to the next stage. So I just need to level up the bowl. So I find the easiest way to level up a bowl is you have a smaller bowl that's sitting nice and level. Sit the bowl into it because it allows you to pivot it around. So I have a little small level here, so I can just make sure it's level because I can pivot it on all axes, sitting in the other little bowl. So it's perfect that way. Just need to get it right that way. It doesn't have to be 1,000,000%. So I think it's quite good there. And double check that way. Oh. Yeah, it's good. That's good that way. So I'll leave the bowl, I won't touch it. So I'm going to mix up a bit of resin. I have said resin here, so I'm not sure how much I'm going to need, so I'm just going to mix up about 100 milliliters, probably should do. So now I have the 2 parts of the resin in the cup and I've stirred it there for about 3 or 4 minutes, so it should be well mixed. So I have a half cupful, so hopefully I will have enough. I should have. So I wanted to put a green in it, so out of the box of pigments I have, this is the 3 green. So this one is a bit, it's called, yeah, fruit green. Yeah, don't like that one, so that can go. And this one says tender green, so I think this one is a little bit pale. And this is what I'm left with. It says turquoise, but it's, yeah, it's green to me. So I think this is the one I'm going to use. So I shall add some to the resin. I'm not sure how much I need. I don't do resin too often, so we shall try that much and see how it looks. I can always add more. I was thinking about red, but I was looking at all the different reds I have, and I'll just show you what all the different colours that's in that box. So they were very pinky, and so I didn't like any of the red ones. So I think I'll have to purchase some more colours or powders, whatever you call them. Those were just cheap ones I bought off Amazon. I think there's 25 or 30 different colours in it. I think I might add a little bit more to that. Because I'm only putting 4mm in it, that should be enough. So now that's all pretty well mixed. I'm not going to bother to put this in a pressure pot because, again, I try and lift that and move it. It's just that's going to spill out. So now I think that's mixed quite enough. So we'll get it poured in. It's going to look quite nice actually. Just make sure it's full all the way. So now I think that's full enough. So I can just see some of the pore lines. So what I'll do is I'll just have a little cocktail stick And I'll just mix it up ever so slight. So guys, that's the resin now poured. I had plenty, I still have some left in the cup. So yeah, all the bubbles are starting to come to the surface, so I'll just get those with a little heat gun later on. But for me, I'll have to wait a couple of days now to finish it till the resin cures, just to make sure it's hard enough. And I shall see you back here at the lathe and get it finished. So now guys, it's been 2 or 3 days and the resin has cured nicely. So it's time to get this this finished. So it did settle a little bit. The wood is a little bit proud. So and it actually, the resin overflowed a tiny little bit here. I didn't get the bowl 100% level, but I had enough in it. I had a little over 4 mil, so it should be fine. So it looks amazing. The pearlescent resin, it looks really good. So time to get it cut back. So I'm just going to use a couple of scrapers just to take it back to level and see how that works. I'm a bit out of my depth with resin. I've only ever turned a couple of resin pens, so anyway, we'll see how it goes. So you want to start off with a little 1-inch scraper and just nice and gently see how that works. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't like turning resin. So anyway, I've the wood near enough down to level, a little bit more to go. So I might actually switch to a little negative rake and see if that works any better. See how that looks. So I'm hitting it all the way there, but I'm missing a section here. So obviously I hadn't got the bowl very level when I poured the resin. But anyway, we shall keep going. That has done the job, so it's nice and level all the way. Just perfect. And the finish is quite clean as well, which is good. So now to get it sanded. So I'm going to start the sanding at 240 because it's actually quite clean. So just using right angle drill. So now that's the sanding done. I sanded up to, my last grit was 800. So hopefully that is enough. I just cleaned it off there with a little bit of methylated spirit or denatured alcohol, whatever you want to call it, and it looks quite good. I can't really see any scratches. Just turn on a bit of light and see. So what I'm going to do now is just going to put a bit of sanding sealer on, and then I'm going to use some Yorkshire grit. Get the inside of the bowl as well, I didn't get that done. So I'm going to use the microfine because I sanded up to 800. I think I might get away with using the microfine. As I said, I don't use resin too much, so it's trial and error. And I think that came up pretty good. I don't see any scratches in the resin. Ooh, happy with that. So I get it cleaned off now. So yeah, that was the Yorkshire Grit microfine. It's an abrasive paste. So again, a little bit of denatured alcohol. We should get it cleaned off. Just get any little bits of any residue of the Yorkshire Grit off. Now I think for to finish the piece off, I'm going to use Hampshire Sheen gloss finishing wax. And I'll do the back as well, because I didn't get any finish on there. That's a nice even layer of wax on, so I'll just let that flash off for a few minutes and I can buff it in. So now I've left the wax for about 10 minutes, so it has dried off a little bit, so I can get it buffed. So bring the speed up a little bit. So now guys, that's the piece all buffed. That came out absolutely amazing. I'm really happy with that. So I'll get it off the chuck now, and I'll have to get the tenon removed. So what I'll do is I'll get the tenon off, guys, because it's after being a slightly longer video than usual. I think I've made you suffer enough, and I'll take it back and we'll take a look at the piece when I have the tenon off. So now there we have it, guys, all finished. Our elm bowl with green pearlescent resin. I think it turned out quite nice. Beautiful open grain in the wide grain in the elm. Nice little inclusion here as well, just adds a little bit of character to it. Just took my maker's mark in the bottom, left a little small foot, slight little OG shape, my preferred shape for a bowl. Because it has a wide rim, I undercut the rim slightly. I always find it's easier to pick up a bowl with your thumb, just sits in there. So yeah, it was an interesting project. As I said, I don't do resin. I've done a few resin pens, but other than that, I haven't done too much of it at all. So it's a bit of a learning curve for me for finishing resin. So yeah, I'll have to do a little bit more research on that. But I think I got it quite nice. There's practically no scratch marks in it, but in hindsight now, if I had to put it on the buffing wheels, I might have got it a little bit better, but maybe not, I don't know. But sure, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, you might tap that like and subscribe for me, and as I said, helps my channel out a lot. So yeah, interesting. I enjoyed the process. So when I mixed up that resin, I actually had a bit of a cup full left, so I was able to pour a couple of pen blanks. So that was one, and I actually turned one, so I got a nice pen out of the bit of surplus resin I had. So quite chuffed with that as well. So it's just a streamlined pen. So yeah, it'll make a nice set. So anyway guys, catch us all in the next one. So take care, bye for now.